Welcome to The Road Reflected with Nicole Wakeland. Automotive from the lighter side. That means cars, but also cookies, coffee, and pie. Up first, what's Nicole behind the wheel of this week?
Okay, it's another Mazda.
Woo!
Apparently, I'm all Mazda all the time.
Mazdas all day.
I know, Mazdas all day. And that's not a complaint because I really enjoy driving Mazdas.
Yeah.
So last week, I had the Mazda CX-50, which is an SUV.
Mm-hmm.
This week, I have the Mazda 3.
Oh, is that like, it's like a little...
It's a little four-door hatchback.
Yeah.
So they actually sell this as either a hatchback or a sedan.
But not a sedan, because hatchback.
They're two different bodies.
Yeah, if you change the hatchback to a trunk, you have a sedan.
Correct.
All right, just get my terminology right.
Yes. So the Mazda 3 sedan has a trunk. The Mazda 3 hatchback has a...
hatchback.
Yeah,
Woo,
there you go.
Right.
Okay, you all on board with this whole complicated process now?
I think I'm there.
Okay, so I have the Mazda 3 hatchback, which is nice. It gives you a little bit more versatility when it comes to cargo. Because you can load larger things. It's got a little bit more room. And of course, once you fold down, if you have no one in the back seats, if you fold down the rear seats, then you have even more room for cargo. So it's a great choice if if you're going to need to carry stuff around actually, but you don't want like a true SUV.
Okay.
But I like the Mazda 3. It's so stinking fun to drive.
I love the interior.
The interior is one thing, but the drive, absolutely driving it. So does a 2-liter 4-cylinder. There's a turbo version and a naturally aspirated, which is not turbo.
Right.
Sounds really fancy. Turbo and
sounds fancier,
I feel like instead of saying...
but less zoom.
Yeah, instead of saying naturally aspirated, which sounds sort of pretentious, although it's accurate, I feel like it's like turbo and non-turbo.
Instead of zoom, it's just zoom.
Maybe that's it. Just
one less
zooms.
zoom. Right.
So I had the turbo, which has 227 horsepower.
Okay.
The non-turbo is 109 horsepower.
Yeah, a lot less zoom.
So there's a big difference, and it's a small car, so that difference is even more noticeable because you get that extra horsepower in a tiny little car, and it really goes. It's so much fun to drive. So accelerating onto the highway is the best thing ever because you can just mash the gas pedal and boom,
and right up to the speed
You're
limit.
right up to the speed
not
limit.
a drop more.
Yes, not 1 mile per hour over. And it does make it really easy for passing. So when you're looking for that little extra burst of power because there's someone who's just going a little bit too slow and they're driving you nutty, it's easy to get up enough power, especially in heavy traffic, to speed up, get around them, and come back in if traffic is heavy.
A lot of people forget that acceleration is another way to evade a problem, just as good and sometimes better in certain situations than braking.
Right. See, sometimes you want to slow down. Sometimes speeding up is your best way to get yourself out of a sticky situation. Yes. Yeah. So I like the power in this, and it does make this feel sporty. I mean, 227 horsepower is not a crazy number, but it's a nice, strong number, and as a turbocharged little hatchback, it really moves and it handles beautifully. Taking it in twisties. I took it on a little bit of a side road for just a jaunt. I was just adventuring for
a jaunt.
Just a jaunt.
A little jaunt.
A little jaunt.
Where did you jaunt to?
I went down out of our neighborhood towards where the farms are. So it sounds like I live in the middle of nowhere.
The country.
But you turn one direction out of our neighborhood and it's the highway down to Boston, and the other direction is literally farms.
Yeah.
And there's
a country jaunt.
A country jaunt, which is what you want to do when you have a car that handles really well.
Those turns,
you have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I drove around and it's just so much fun to drive. I truly enjoy this. The CX-50 was nice and it was fun, but this is like sporty and their whole driving matters thing. Wow, this really feels like more of a driver's car. It's a lot more fun to drive. I really enjoyed it. Like you said, the interior, it's beautiful. This
really
one
nice.
has red leather interior trims, not bright red, sort of like a darker.
It's a cool color. Our daughter was even impressed.
Yeah, it impressed a 19-year-old. There's something right there.
Next generation.
Oh, I like this red
sedan.
Right, so it has a beautiful interior. The front seats, they're heavily bolstered. I would say they have pretty big bolstering. They're not like true sports cars squeeze you tight uncomfortably, but there is a good amount of bolstering, so you feel it. And again, bolstering is the side parts of the seat that hold you in, like on either side of your body. When it's flat, it's not very bolstered. When they curve in to hug you, then it means heavily bolstered.
Not to be confused with lumbar supports, or is it basically the same thing?
Lumbar is in your lower back, like in the middle of the seat kind of thing. It literally is like flat against your back. That's the part that pushes up
on your lower back.
Right, like when they tell you to sit up straight, lumbar helps you sit up straight. bolstering just keeps you from when the
sliding
corners
left and right.
From sliding left and right. So you stay in your seat a little bit better.
Button chair.
Yeah, it's pretty heavily bolstered. Now this is a smaller car, so I have a question for you. Mm-hmm. I'm 5'6". Yes. I could adjust it no problem. You're 6'3". When you first got in, someone had the seats forward and your knees were against the dash. Did you get comfortable though?
I did actually. The car's a little low for a sedan, which is good, which gives that sporty feel. But as someone who's tall, it's a little more, tricky. But once I was in there, there's plenty of headroom. It's fine.
And your leg room was good? Did you feel like your legs were squished? No one was
behind me, so I was able to put the chair all the way back.
That's the second. So you had it all the way back.
I did.
So it didn't go to, okay, because that was the other thing I noticed when I did my clips for Instagram and TikTok of what this car actually looks like. I showed the front seats and then I showed the back seats. And I had the front seat adjusted to where I was sitting driving. And the back seat was adjusted to where you were sitting as a passenger.
Yeah.
So that's all the way back. It doesn't go back any further?
It does not.
Okay, that's good because there was...
no room.
There was truly behind your seat.
Our kids are used to trying to sit behind mom.
Yeah, behind your seat, there was absolutely no room. Behind my seat, you could definitely sit.
Yes.
It wasn't spacious, but you could definitely sit behind my seat. So keep that in mind if you have tall people along for the ride, you're not going to be able to put a tall person behind a tall person. Yeah. It's tall, short, tall, short. That's the only way you're going to be able to make it work. You have to mix and match.
It's not a large sedan.
Yes, but it is really comfortable and the interior is beautiful. And because it was the color on the outside was snowflake white pearl mica.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I want every single Mazda to just be made in soul red,
as
crystal
God intended,
metallic.
Yes.
They have a newer red that's like a darker red, but soul red crystal metallic. I would pay all the monies to have that on my car. But still, this white looked really pretty. It was that pearlized white, so it had a little bit of sparkle to it. And it looks beautiful on the outside. There's a black air dam and roof spoiler because this is the top trim that I had. This one is the Turbo Premium Plus.
Ooh.
And so the base trim in this is $25,600.
Not bad.
Top trim $36,600.
Okay,
so you got about a $10,000 spread. But remember, it's not just that it's getting prettier and nicer. You also have the base engine versus the turbocharged engine. So when you go to that top trim, turbocharged engine, so it drives nicer. More beautiful interior with the red seats, and there's a 12-speaker Bose audio system.
12 speakers in a car this small seems excessive, but also awesome.
Well, I'll have you know, I took this car to the airport for a 6 a.m. flight, I believe it was, maybe 6:10. Either way, I'm in the car at the butt crack of dawn, driving to
jamming
Boston
the tunes?
because it keeps me awake. So I've got my mug of coffee and the tunes, and it was like I was singing along to off key.
Where the windows like popping out. Like, boom,
exactly.
Boom.
The whole car was full. Yeah. So, but I literally thought in the morning, I'm like, this speaker, this stereo system is really good as I have it jammed as high as I can tolerate it to keep myself awake because I'm driving to the airport first thing in the morning. So I really like the Mazda 3. I think this is a great car. It's not, if you don't care about the extra power and of the turbo, you can have this for $25,600. If you want the top, fanciest, coolest, all the bells and whistles, $36,000, I'd pay $36,000 for this. Okay. I do think it's worth it. I think it's absolutely worth it. And Mazdas, they look good on the inside, and they're just so fun to drive. Okay, everyone, if you like what you're hearing, then go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe, either on YouTube or your favorite podcatcher.
And don't forget those positive reviews on iTunes.
Thank you. So another vehicle I'm going to talk about, I can't tell you how it drove yet.
Oh.
I can only tell you
Is this super secret squirrel stuff?
Super secret squirrel stuff,
okay.
Yeah. So it's the Lexus GX. It was the first drive of the new Lexus GX.
Embargo. I want an embargo button. Embargo.
You would have so many sound effects in here if
I'll just make them up as we
you.
go. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. You just did yours.
Embargo.
So it's just driving impressions that are currently embargoed for another few days. It'll be after this goes live that the driving impressions are allowed. So I'll talk about how it drove next week because there are two very different versions of this. They're all actually off-road capable, every single one, even though this is a great big 3-row SUV from a premium brand. But they've introduced two new things. They introduced an Overtrail and an Overtrail Plus.
Overtrail, huh?
Overtrail, which we all wanted to call Overland because you think overlanding.
Yeah, Overtrail.
Yeah, but it's Overtrail and Overtrail Plus, the big, and so the Overtrail is the more off-road version of this. The Overtrail Plus is more off-road, but also really nice inside. Like it gets premium.
They're trying to get above trail rated. They're like, we're not just trail rated, we're over trail rated.
Yes. So it's, and it's a Lexus, so it doesn't matter. There's 6 trims total, the 2 over trail versions and then 4 other trims. Doesn't matter which of those 6 you get. It's beautiful. It's a really nice interior. It's a premium vehicle. Lexus is a luxury brand. This isn't a mass market brand.
Yeah.
So the base trim on this is $64,000.
Oh, interesting.
But 3-row premium luxury SUV. That's not really as crazy as you think. When you get up to the very top, the most expensive version of this you can buy, $82,000. Yeah. Which does get pricey, but you keep getting more and more premium interior trims. No matter which one you get, it's going to be like, it's just beautiful. It's going to look attractive. It's going to have, the things that when you open the door, it looks like a luxury vehicle. The one thing it doesn't have?
What's that?
Any wood trims. Now,
interesting.
If you
That's
think
probably
about
a style choice.
Well, yeah. Once upon a time, Lexus was all about the wood trims. And this came up at the presentation.
Someone's like, where's your wood?
Yeah. Another journalist asked about it.
Yeah.
And he said, where's it? Like, oh, we just didn't
We're done
really
with that
get
now.
An answer.
It's 2024.
Right? But then we were thinking about it, like, is it really done? I mean, once upon a time, you had wood trims, like the wood paneling, like the Grand Wagoneer on the outside of a vehicle. You don't do that anymore.
No, station wagons with wood paneling.
Cars do not have wood paneling.
You do see natural wood in some dashboards, but now that I think it's mostly Lexus.
Right. You see natural wood. Like I was just thinking, we had a Mercedes not that long ago that it was just wood everywhere. Yeah. But it was in natural wood, where they call it open pour.
Yeah, it wasn't fake wood. It was
so that when they used to that really super high gloss, like it always made me think of a bar. You know, bars have that. You feel like there's like 4 inches of laminated or whatever on top of that
thing.
Right. They polyurethane it within an inch of its life. That's what the wood trims used to feel like. Then they went to this natural wood, which I know they have in a lot of vehicles.
Right.
No wood at all in the Lexus GX.
Now, let me ask you this. So if they're modernizing the Lexus brand and they've got no more wood in there to keep it more modern, do they have the analog clock still in there?
Did they have an analog clock? I don't remember an analog clock.
This is a pet peeve of mine.
Now you said that. I don't think there was an analog clock.
I don't think we need analog clocks in vehicles anymore.
No, I don't think they did.
And high-end vehicles feel they need to put these in there as if a nod to luxury or nostalgia. I don't know why.
The only one I know that had a really good, reasonable reason for it was I did see when I once drove a Rolls Royce, and they have, I forget what the actual clock that's in there, because they're not just like Billy Bob's clocks. They're always expensive clocks. But they said a lot of people like to take the clock out
and put an even fancier one in.
Their own version.
We're going to put the Rolex in there.
So people will actually customize it. So it becomes a point of customization,
useless bling.
Useless bling. Exactly. Right. I'm going to bling my already.
Well, I'm just saying, like, you could have high-end wood too, but I think we're all saying we're past the wood. So are we past the analog clocks? But I don't think.
But like Mercedes, think about this Mercedes that we had, because I can still see that one beautiful dashboard.
I'm curious.
But it was natural wood. It was not varnished. So I wonder if that's the thing. But no wood trims in all 6 of these versions that were out there. They do not offer wood trims.
Let me ask you this: do you think this high-end luxury Lexus? It's got Overtrail. It's got Overtrail Plus.
Yes.
Are they entering the Land Rover space?
Well, the funny thing is, if you look at this vehicle, everyone said it looks like a Defender.
Does it look like a Disco?
It looks like a Defender.
Okay.
Looks a lot like, it's got Defender vibes.
The Defenders are cool looking.
Which is not a bad thing.
No, it's not a bad thing. I mean, it's a little bit of a greatest form of flattery, I guess.
Right? But it's not, but it does have Defender vibes. And one of the big changes they made this year, so it used to have a tailgate that opened left, right, like a barn door.
Right, like a Jeep. Yep.
Like whoosh, off to the side. No more. Now it opens up. It's a lift gate.
Okay.
So they have a lift gate. They also changed it. So they also added to the lift gate there, the glass opens.
Okay.
So you can open the whole lift gate, or you can open the glass. And it's cool. There's a tiny little button.
Yeah.
Like I've seen them where they have the button for the lift gate and the button for the glass almost right next to each other, kind of hidden a little bit.
Yeah.
This one is not hidden. The lift gate one is, but the one for the glass, there's a little tiny dot on the, and you see it. It's like the size of like your finger just pressing, and it pops it open.
Oh, cool.
I did discover the hard way. If you don't entirely shut that glass, the tailgate will not automatically open, which is probably a safety thing, but I thought I had latched it.
Right.
And it seemed like it was latched, but I think I did one of those half latch. It's caught just enough so it's not going to fly open, but the car says, no, it's not latched. And I thought, why can't I get this to work? Why can't I get this to work? It worked before. Why is it not working now? I finally got it to work, and it was all because I didn't have the liftgate glass closed entirely, which I was laughing about, because luckily I was with a colleague who was like, nice job, Nicole.
Right. At least they have, yes, exactly.
So they changed that. And one of the other big changes, they've upped the tow rating. And they even upped it while we were at the program. They were still doing some. This
just in another 1,000 pounds.
Kind of actually is exactly what happened, because they do internal testing and then there's external testing that sort of validates it. Like, they'll come up sometimes with the automaker's estimated MPG and then the EPA says, nope, it's this. And the EPA is what they end up going with official, but it takes time for all these people to test these things.
Oh, cool.
So when it came back, they actually have the maximum tow rating, and it varies a little bit by trim, is 9,096 pounds.
That seems good. Is that good?
That's a lot. That
seems like a lot for that vehicle.
It's well over 1,500 more than it was before. It was 15. Now I think it might almost be like 2,000 more.
Wow, that seems like you could tow a pretty good sized camper.
Yeah, and with the Overtrail and Overtrail Plus, so seating varies. All the other trims are seating. There's 3 rows with either 7 seating for 7, or if you go with captain's chair, seating for 6.
Yep.
Not so with the Overtrail. That's the only one that is 2 rows and 2 rows only.
Interesting.
And it has only a bench seat for your second row. Okay. So it's always seating for 5. But because of that change in configuration, not only do you only have 2 rows of seating, but behind the second row is larger. So you have a lot more room, just the way they place the seats and
all
such.
All about the cargo on that one.
So it's all about the cargo, which makes sense because Overtrail and Overtrail Plus are supposed to be for people who are going overlanding.
Right.
You overland in the Overtrail. This couldn't be harder to say. So
overing going on. Yeah, right.
Yeah. So because of that, they've given you, and you have a huge tow rating. If you have stuff you need to bring along with you, you have a huge amount of cargo room. So they've done some cool things to make this better than it was before and make it more off-roady than it was before. I always wonder how many people and I'm sure there's a stat out there, maybe there isn't, of how many people really take their, what did I say, maximum $82,000 Lexus off-road.
I don't know. I feel like they've got to get their brand awareness out because I don't think people think of Lexus as a capable brand.
Well, I think people know this. People that buy this know this.
Right, but but people who want a capable luxury vehicle, are they thinking, Land Rover, or are they just Jeep favor fans? You get Lexus, I think, has to build that brand.
Right? I don't know, maybe. I mean, you think I think people know that it does it. I just wonder how many people. I wonder how many the Jeeps that never go further than a dirt path, like the Wranglers that have never utilized their capability.
Well, yeah, there's a huge percentage of people who just drive Jeeps.
And I wonder
cool.
how many people are buying this.
I don't know, but I feel like they tow. Like I feel like they tow their nice boat to the lake.
Yes, because you can tow your boat or your snowmobiles or your ski-doos or whatever
your RV
it is.
Camper kind of thing.
Like I feel like there's a lot of stuff
that I could see happening. Whether they're actually doing off-roading, I don't know.
Yeah, and we did go off-road and we did drive on the highway, and I can tell you how it off-roaded next
in the future.
In the future.
Embargo.
Hey, wait, did we just drive by a bakery? So food in the airport is normally garbage.
Agreed.
It's hard to find good food. And when you buy food in the airport, you're going to pay 18,000 times more than the comparable product outside the airport.
Also agreed.
Like, it's just outrageous.
Just how it is.
Right. I once made the mistake of ordering. I was tired. I was hungry. My layover got extended because my flights were late. I was in Salt Lake City and I ordered salmon.
Oh.
Like, why did I order that in an airport that's nowhere near the ocean? And I think I paid for my salmon and Diet Coke like $58.
Probably.
And it was awful. And as soon as they said it in front of me, my brain looked and said,
what was I thinking?
You idiot. Why did you do that? Right. So I don't like buying food in the airport. I mean, unless you're getting a coffee. Coffee's kind of coffee. Breakfast sandwiches, kind of breakfast sandwiches. There are a lot of great options in most airports. Like, it's a giant airport with 800 restaurants. 2 of them are good. Yeah, right. There's a limited amount of good food. But I did find a really good treat in Minneapolis.
Ooh, what'd you find?
Okay, so I'm walking, and if you've ever been to MSP, as it's fondly known,
Minneapolis, St. Paul.
it is a very large airport, so you can find yourself.
Well, it's serving 2 cities, to be fair.
Yes, technically. And there's like little moving walkways, a little tram thing. It's easy to get around, but it is a big airport, and I'm going from gate to gate, and I'm like looking for the Sky Club because I still have some time. I think I can run in, grab myself a little nibble in there, get going. And as I'm blazing by, I'm paying no attention to the little kiosks that are on the road or along the way.
Because you're busy, you got to get there.
Because I'm just focused on going to the side that says Sky Club. And I realized I passed something that has cookies on it. And it was like a cartoon. I stopped and I just literally took like 2 steps backwards and I looked and I'm like, but it's called T-Rex cookies.
Like the dinosaur.
Because they're giant.
Ooh, like how giant?
They are, it says their typical cookie are half a pound.
Now, you normally film crumble cookies in your vehicle. So for our listeners who also view those videos, how much bigger than a crumble cookie is this thing?
It's slightly thinner, so squish your crumble cookie. Yep. But even if you squished the crumble cookie to the same thickness, it's still bigger. Like if you put your fingers together and try to make a circle, it's bigger than that.
Oh, so it's
you can't make a circle. Maybe man hands. Nope, still bigger. It's like about
So like almost 6 inches across.
Maybe. I guess maybe a 6-inch cookie.
That seems pretty big.
It was huge.
Yeah.
So they have these cookies, and I thought, oh my gosh, this is going to be a perfect cookie to do when I get to Lexus. Of course, I also have to take this cookie on one more flight from Minneapolis.
Did you video it? Is it on the...
It's going to be on, when I put up the Lexus stuff, it'll be up there. But it's this huge cookie.
Right.
And apparently they have, I think, 1 or 2 locations in the Minneapolis area. So it's it's actually a store, like a bakery, but they have this little kiosk in the airport, and they had maybe, I don't know, they had 8 or 10 different kinds of
Are they served
flavors.
warm?
No, because they're not cooking there. It's a little kiosk.
Okay.
But they do, it does have a sign saying fresh daily or whatever. Right. So and I thought, it's still going to look cute, even if it's not the freshest cookie on the planet. And they had and I couldn't pick for the flavors. And the one that the woman said was her favorite, and I said, sure, because all the things in it I like, was a sea salt caramel chocolate chip.
Oh, that seems like a winner.
It was really good. So because I'm using the videos, I'm not going to eat this because I've had a little bit.
You should have got 2, one for the stunt cookie.
I just broke off. I'm like just breaking off a tiny piece.
Oh, you put it in the back of the cookie so you can't see it in the shot.
Afterwards. I'm like, I know it's been a little manhandled, but I am eating this little tiny corner of this cookie.
How was it?
It was so good.
Was it really?
And it was 2 days old at that point because I got it on a Monday.
I'm shocked you had the willpower to not buy a second cookie to eat. And
they
keep
were
one
also,
for stunt
they also were not cheap cookies. I can't remember what I paid for, but it's not like buying a box of Oreos.
Well, you are paying airport prices too.
Right, airport prices and giant cookies.
Right.
But it was really, really good. But it was the coolest thing. And you can order these. You guys, you can order these. They do nationwide shipping, Russ.
Really? T-Rex cookies.
T-Rex cookies. And they have the half-pound cookie, which I believe are the one that I got.
Okay.
But they have a 5.5-pound cookie.
Well, this would be a good birthday thing.
Saw a picture of it on their website because I went to investigate.
It's like a birthday cake cookie thing?
It kind of. They have one right now because we're coming up on Valentine's Day that's shaped like a heart.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cute. But they have a picture of it where someone's sliding a thing that's sort of, what is the thing, the big flat thing they put under a pizza, whatever that's called. Like
a peel.
A peel. A pizza peel? Or it's just called a peel. It looks like a peel, and you can see the person's hand close to the cookie.
Yeah.
And it looks like the size of a pizza.
You get the scale. Okay.
So you get the scale of it. So they have these giant cookies and then enormous crazy cookies. And the name T-Rex, it's kind of makes sense because you think it's big, right?
Yes. Yeah.
The woman who owns it, her name is Tina Rexing.
Oh, so it's got double meaning.
Yeah,
very clever.
Yeah, I thought, someone was very, very clever.
Yeah.
So these were amazing.
Now, this is just but they ship nationwide, but are they based in Minneapolis?
They're based in Minneapolis, and you can go to the store. They have, I think I saw 1 or 2 locations.
I bet you get them warm in their home bakery.
You probably could, but you can always make a cookie warm. All you do is stick it in the microwave and nuke it for like a few seconds.
Not the same fresh out of the oven, though.
No, it's not the same. The best cookies are the ones that are fresh out of the oven that you eat it, and the whatever's melty, the chocolate or whatever's in there slightly burns your mouth like in a pizza.
Yeah, because we went to Crumble the other day, and we got a bunch of different fun flavors, but we also, because you had to buy 4 to get the deal, we got the chocolate chip, because it's usually our filler, because their chocolate chip is solid.
Their chocolate chips
but that one was fresh, like they just, like it was too hot to touch.
It had come out of the oven because we tried to touch it.
And even though the other ones were these more exotic flavors and really cool ideas, oh my God, the fresh out of the oven chocolate chip cookie is just such a amazing cookie.
And there's probably there's something about it too, because I think chocolate chip cookies are the go-to thing for cookies.
There's a reason they're the cookie.
So there's a little bit of childhood nostalgia. You get a warm
chocolate chip with the chocolate just
never managed to do, and I've always wanted to do, and I'm sure there's video and behind the scenes that make this look. But you know when they show Nestle Toll House cookies commercials, and they always show them breaking the cookie apart,
and the little chocolate sort of strings.
I've tried to do that like my whole life. Do it? Nope, it just breaks. I can never. I just once want to create.
I feel like
it's
fake chocolate. You know,
I think it has to be real. I think the
one we got at Crumble was pretty close to that though. When we pulled it
but you couldn't pick it up because it's
well, that's the problem.
It was too hot. That's what I mean. You got to get the right size and then the right chocolate stickiness. I've never made it happen.
Like heat the chocolate with a blowtorch, but keep the cookie part.
A blowtorch?
Yeah, you kind of like a little creme brulee torch to kind of get the...
A blowtorch implies like you've gone in the garage.
Just like the little creme brulee thing. Get the chocolate a little melty, but keep the cookie solid so you can get the break. I don't know.
I guess you could
experiment with this.
Please don't experiment with blowtorching.
I feel like I could start a small fire.
You think? Oh my goodness.
Thanks for listening to The Road Reflected. To follow more of Nicole Wakeland's adventures, head on over to NicoleWakeland.com. There you'll find links to her social media, from TikTok to Twitter, as well as her work across a wide range of media outlets. Until next time, keep it shiny side up.